Hello, my name is Vignesh Kamath and I make videos on life in Germany. And today I'm gonna talk to you about the expenses which you have to consider when you live in Germany. As you all know, education in Germany is free, but that doesn't mean you can live here for free. You have to consider the cost of accommodation, groceries, and all your daily requirements. And in this video, I'm gonna break down all the cost, all the expenses which comes with it. The first expense which I'm gonna break down is about accommodation because accommodation plays an important factor. Accommodation is very hard to find in Germany as well as very expensive. Almost half of your expense is going into accommodation. The cost of accommodation can vary from place to place. The place where I'm living in, Cleaver, for one room apartment for me with the subsidy costs around 300 euros, 320 euros in fact. If you are going for a shared accommodation, it will be even cheaper. But if you're going for a city like Hamburg, it can even go up to 500 euros for a student. In big cities like Hamburg, Düsseldorf, the accommodation can even go up to 700 euros, 700 even 1000 euros. But for students, government of Germany is actually giving subsidized cost for accommodation, subsidies on accommodation, especially on student dorms. So if you can get a student dorm, that will be the cheapest and the most efficient way to live in Germany. In accommodation, you can either opt for a single apartment or you can opt for a shared WG. In the shared WG, you might have to share with multiple other people, but the overall cost might come down. It might come around 160. In some places, it can go below 200, 160, 180. In some places like Hamburg, you can get a shared accommodation for 300 euros. That's the best you can find in a place like Hamburg. It's very hard to find accommodation, and to get a cheaper accommodation for 300 euros, it's nearly impossible. Okay, when you consider accommodation, one thing you have to consider is that there is two types of rent, a warm rent and a cold rent. So a warm rent means that in your rent, everything else such as electricity, water is included, and a cold rent you have to pay extra. So if you see an apartment with a warm rent of 400 euros, that means everything is included in the format of 400 euros. And in another apartment, if you have a cold rent of 300 euros and a warm rent of 160 euros, that means the entire cost for you for that accommodation is for 60 euros. The second expense which you have to consider is health insurance. So anyone who is living in Germany needs a health insurance. But for students who are enrolled in a public university, it's compulsory to have a government health insurance. There are two types of health insurance, government and public health insurance. Government health insurance is called statutory health insurance, and for a student, you need to pay around 120 euros for government health insurance. Just keep it in mind that when you are paying for health insurance, you don't have to go to when you go to a doctor, you don't have to pay separately for doctor. The health insurance pays for you. So that's the main purpose of having health insurance in Germany. Okay, the next one is transportation. For students, especially who are enrolled in a German public university, you don't have to pay for transportation. You are getting a semester ticket. You are actually paying a semester ticket in the beginning of semester. Even then, that is really cheap compared to what other people pay for transportation. A city like Düsseldorf, even for one card, transportation card, something monthly pass, you have to pay around 80 euros per month. And with the student card, you can actually travel in the whole state for free. For me, I am from Enave, North Rhine-Westphalia, and in this state, with the semester ticket, I can go anywhere I want for free, except for ICE and IC. I can take all other means of transportation except for those two. Now, the next expense which you have to consider is groceries. So as of now, because the oil price is increasing, because of all the inflation, right now you can expect around 120 to 140 euros if you are cooking alone in your house. Without considering going out, eating from a restaurant, eating from a fancy restaurant, you can expect 120-ish euros, around about that. But if you are a little bit lavish, if you want to go out and eat, you can expect more than that. It might even come to 200. It all depends on you, on how your lifestyle is. Now the next expense comes with phone charge, phone bill, internet, etc. So in phone charge, it might go up to 20 euros something. It may vary it may vary with respect to what kind of carrier and what kind of package you're taking. taking in, you can either go for low like 2 GB package with which costs around €2, or you can go for a 20 GB package with €20. Even you can go buy a €100 package. It depends on you, but and on an average you can take around €10 for mobile phone and all its services. And if you consider other cost, miscellaneous cost, it depends on you exactly how many times you go out and eat, what all books or pen, everything, and maybe buying other things, electronics, shoes, etc. On an average, in a month, a typical student who's living in not so big city such as Cologne, my city, Cleaver, or Leipzig, anywhere, you can expect a monthly expense of €600. In this video, I'm going to tell you two examples. One is mine, and one is one of my friend who is living in Hamburg. For me, everything included accommodation of €320, groceries around €100, transportation is free, health insurance of €120, and mobile phone recharge for around €13. Everything, when you add up together, it comes around €588 for me, monthly expense. While one of my friend in Hamburg, it was very hard for him to find accommodation. He is living in one of the NIT apartments, and for that apartment, it's very expensive. It comes around €500 for one single apartment, and when I calculate his monthly expense, it is coming around 800ish, 850 something, and that is really expensive. So as a tip, I would suggest the students who are coming to Germany for studying, or for any purposes, internship, anything, try to apply for accommodation as early as you can. Like for me, I applied for this accommodation even before I applied to the university. So it's that hard to get accommodation. Getting an accommodation is harder than getting a visa. Thank you for watching my video. I hope this is helpful. I'm trying my best to bring more content in. Sorry for the late posting of my content or my video. It's because I have some exams going on and other assignments are going on. So yeah, thank you.